expect to only see front-end called and lead and .com is not called. So let's clear this out. Front-end is called, lead.com is not called. My name is Shiv, and welcome back to this series where we study for senior front-end engineering interview questions. Today we're asked to build a clear all interval function. So basically what this question asks us to do is it asks us to figure out a way where if any time set interval is called, we want to be able to just clear it immediately by invoking this function called clearAllIntervals. So let's take a look at an example that I've created here. So I've commented out for now, but basically I've defined three functions here. Each one is just printing out its own string. So the first function is printing out front end, second function is printing out lead, and the third function is printing out .com. It runs on a set interval, so it's just going to continuously keep running. However, function 1 will be called after 1 second, function 2 will be called after 2 seconds, and function 3 will be called after 3 seconds. So if I run this, you'll see that it never ends. It'll just continuously run forever, one at a time. Just like so. And what we want to do is we want to be able to clear all these intervals, like so, but this function is not defined, so we will get an error. So for now, I'm going to comment this out because it is going to keep erroring out. So let's build our clearAllIntervals function. So first, let's get a reference of to our original set interval function. So we'll say const original set interval, which is equal to window dot set interval. And then we'll also keep track of all of the existing timers that are going on, all of the existing set intervals that are going on the page. So we'll say const timers, which is just an empty array by default. And now what we'll do is we'll overwrite the original set interval function. So we'll say window dot set interval equals to a function. This function takes two arguments. First is the callback, second is the delay. And in here, we'll reference the original set interval that we've referenced above. So we'll say const ID equals to original set interval. And then we'll pass in the callback with the delay. And then we'll add that to the timers list. So timers.push ID. And finally, we'll just return the ID. And now let's build our clearAllInterval function. So we'll say function clearAllIntervals. Let's just make it plural, like so. And what we'll do here is we'll reference at timers. So we'll iterate through timers. We'll set timers for each ID. We'll say clear time out ID. And that should be enough. So what we'll do is we'll wrap this and put this behind a set timeout. So we'd like to clear all timeouts after front end is called. So maybe we'll do something like this. We'll say set timeout, and then we'll call function here, clear all timeouts. And let's call this after 1400 milliseconds, which is 1.4 seconds. So now we should expect to only see front end called and lead and .com is not called. So let's clear this out. Front end is called, lead.com is not called. And you notice front end is not called again because it's cleared out. Everything is cleared out after 1.4 seconds. So that's how you solve this question. This is a pretty easy one, but it's also quite interesting. If you guys found this video helpful, consider pressing the like button below and subscribing. And with that, have a great rest of your day. Thanks, bye.